on this computer. Great. Welcome to folks who are joining us today. This webinar Zoom meeting is to assist folks who might be completing an application to file for unemployment here in North Carolina. So we've got some information to share with you today. My name is Susan McCracken. I am on campus in the Career Development Center as the director there, and Anita Lowe is with me. She is with NC Works here in Boone at the Career Center. She's the manager there, and she's also been doing quite a bit of work with the Department of Commerce working on this whole issue around unemployment, trying to really work with employers. So we want this to be sort of an information session, but if there are questions, people can put those in the chat box, and we'll jump right in. I was just sharing that I was on a call about 15 minutes ago with folks, some economists who were doing a panel for the North Carolina Chamber, and definitely while things are grim right now, they really are looking forward and looking at what the potential is for the new economy. I know on campus we have had over 250 jobs be submitted, jobs and internships to be advertised since last week. And while many sectors, obviously the hospitality sector, healthcare in some places is not growing right now, there are other job opportunities, and Anita will talk about this more later, but ultimately the goal is to help people find employment who may not have it currently, but we want to make sure that folks know how to get access and understand the process of filing for unemployment if they need it. So Anita, I'm going to mute myself and turn it over to you.
Okay, well, first I'll give you a little background on what we do at the Career Center. And I must apologize because I'm teleworking from home, so I look a little rough this afternoon. But at the Career Center, we do everything we can to help people get back to work, whether that is, we do have some scholarships for training. We work with people on interviewing skills. We do mock interviews. We will help people on resumes, on the job search itself, on networking, just kind of the entire repertoire on helping someone get back to work. NC Works is an umbrella, and there are many different organizations that work within the NC Works brand. If we cannot help you in the center, then we can refer you out to other agencies that may be able to assist you with that. So we're kind of like a one-stop center there. We work with job seekers, we work with employers. As Susan said, I feel like the majority of my attention for the last couple of weeks has been on assisting people with filing for unemployment. We are not attached to that division now. They are a different division than what we, but prior to that happening, I did claims for 20 plus years. It doesn't seem like it was that long, and in other ways it seems like it was twice that long. But so I've kind of got a unique perspective into being able to assist if you're having issues with getting that claim filed. Now, with that caveat, I must say I have very little access into their system. So I can't go in, I can't check a whole lot. I am assisting DES with some different things right now, but I don't have access into claimant's files, so I can't look anything up for you. But I can help you kind of maneuver the system a little bit. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. If I can figure out which one it is. Can everybody see that? Can you give me a thumbs up?
Yes, it worked, and okay. I was ready in case yours didn't. So.
Okay, So this is the same. This is the screen, the main page for DES, which is the Division of Employment Security. In order to file unemployment, there is a sign in button right here. And I'm going to show you as far in as I can get you. This is not normally what you would see if you've never filed for unemployment before. It would take you to a screen for you to be able to enter in your name, your social security number, and your email address. When you enter that email address, please make sure that you utilize an email that you can get into, because what's going to happen is after you do that first screen, DES is going to send a message to that email account that you're using, requesting you to activate your account. Once you activate that account, then you will be able to go ahead and sign in, which it shows you on this screen here, and start to file your unemployment claim. Now, I think that Susan has some of the questions that they're asking. And Susan, I'll be very honest with you, I do not know how to unshare my screen.
Oh, okay.
Can you assist me with that?
Yeah, I think if you click.
Stop share.
Yeah,
right there it is. Okay, there we go.
So let me pull up, this is a form that has had the personal information redacted, but it does show the types of questions that are asked so that folks are prepared. Obviously, some of it is very straightforward. Let me move this down so I can. Obviously, your name, your social security number. I know, Anita, that was an issue for someone on one of our earlier emails, is that they said that their social security number had been taken, but it could be that, you just want to make certain that you have the appropriate, your correct social security number, and you addressed that last time. And
right, and that is a big thing to make certain, because if you're not using the correct social security number, then it's not going to match up with the wages. So that could set up an issue, because it's not going to pull anything that you've made in order to help you become monetarily eligible.
Okay. And I'll just sort of scroll through here. A couple of things that when I was helping the person who did this complete it, education level does have, like for college students, it does have first year, second year, third year for you to enter that in. There are a lot of questions on here that obviously are things that won't probably apply if someone is a student filing. I thought this was an interesting question of, are you an elected official? I don't know why that's on there. But anyway.
I can answer that for you if you would like.
Yeah.
Elected officials are numbered under unemployment insurance if that's the only job that they have. So that's why it's on there.
Okay, well, that was an interesting one. I was like, wonder why that's there. Then there was this question, and maybe this is something if you could address, Anita, is my understanding is that unemployment right now, if you are like a contract worker, you're maybe a small business owner, but you're really just one person, that you could file for unemployment, and that would be more likely than getting an SBA loan. And especially since today the word is out that all the SBA money is gone. So if you were, say you had your own window washing business, would you, and you wanted to apply, would you check yes to this self-employed question?
You would. If you are receiving anything other at the end of the year other than a W-2 form, you are considered to be self-employed. So a 1099, a 1099-G, 1099 miscellaneous, any of those 1099 forms, or you file your taxes at the end of the year as instead of under the company, under your social, then you are considered to be self-employed. Now, our understanding, and I will be very honest with you, they don't give us a lot of info. However, I'm going to show you at the end of this some place that you can go on their website to get some more specific information on that, on the other things that are included in the CARE Act.
Okay, great. And then another question here that I'm not sure this person, I think they answered it the right way. Is there any other reason why you cannot seek or accept immediate work? And the response here was yes, because of COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order. Is that the correct answer to put?
Actually, with that, I would go ahead and put the answer to as no,
Okay.
unless, because if you're planning on going back to work as quickly as this is over, then there's really not anything to keep you from seeking and accepting work. Because if your employer called you tomorrow and was able to bring you back on, you're willing to accept immediate work.
Okay.
That is more for individuals. They do not change the questions that are asked to differentiate between the COVID and regular unemployment. And so keep in mind that when you're looking at a lot of these questions, you're answering them in the way things are now, not the way things were normally, because we definitely are not normal right now. So if there's really not a reason that you can't accept working because you're willing to go back to work at employer as quickly as they allow you to come back.
Okay, great. And then this section here, I've blacked out the employer name, but what I remember you saying from the previous workshops is to make sure that maybe you work for, I don't know, James Bakery, but James Bakery is actually an LLC under another name that might be Blue Ridge Industries, just say, and that you want to be sure to put the employer name as the name that's on your payroll. And what we found is when we entered that in, that it gave a drop-down box and it automatically populated because it had this person's information connected to that employer.
That is correct. And if you have worked for your employer long enough to where they have reported wages for you, that should be the first thing that pops up with that. It'll automatically pop that in.
Then there is a whole list of drop-down reasons why your employment ended. And if I'm not mistaken, there are two specific to coronavirus, a reduction in hours, and then I think the other one said a layoff. And you have advised people to choose one of those choices.
Right, and I highly recommend that you use, especially if your hours have been cut basically extremely to none, put layoff instead of a reduction of hours. And the reason you do that is when you put this reduction of hours due to the coronavirus, it's going to set up an issue as an employed versus unemployed. And I know that's more information that you guys want to know, but basically it delays your claim in being processed. However, you will answer to that each week when you do your weekly certification. It's going to ask, did you work this week? So if you did, if you got hours in, say yes, and then it will ask you the amount that you earned. And that is your gross amount that you earned during that Sunday to Saturday date that you're filing that weekly certification for. And it just makes it go a little quicker if you will just put a layoff due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because we, the person filling this out, we had a big discussion because the job is there when the company reopens. And so this was the choice that was made, and then it triggered several other questions. The other question here that
Right.
maybe should have, we was put no because we didn't know a return date. Since the business is not an essential business and it was closed. But there are, it's easy to overthink the answers, which you don't really need to do.
Right. And keep in mind, I know that people are so worried right now because you will get 49 statements about fraud and that you have answered these questions correctly and to the best of your ability. And by saying the other is not an incorrect statement. You have been laid off. They just may be bringing you back in for a few hours a week. And it just kind of helps you go through the flow much simpler, and you don't have to wait on receiving benefits.
Great,
If you're
great.
eligible. I have to put that in there, if you're eligible.
And then these other questions seem to be more for an unemployment claim that would not be COVID-19 related and probably not connected to a part-time or
Right.
student employee. And then, Anita, could you speak a little bit there at the end of the questions? The applicant is asked to talk a little bit about if they are eligible for benefits, how they would get them. And if you could talk a little bit about the options for direct deposit and then the debit cards.
Okay, let me go back up into some of those questions because you actually may have some students that some of those would apply to.
Okay.
For example, you don't have to probably worry about workman's comp, but the pension retirement pay. You may have someone who's decided to go back to school, but they retired, 6 months ago. And they want to start another field. You may have some individuals who have retired from the military and they are in school right now. So keep in mind that with these questions, when it's talking about your retirement, if your retirement is still taxable income, you do have to report it, but it only truly affects your claim if you have retired in the last 18 months to 2 years. It's within that base period. Then it's going to officially affect your claim. So don't go in if you retired 5 years ago. Answer the questions that you retired the 5 years ago, not like you retired in the last year. Make sure that you put that, because I think it asks on those drop down boxes the employer that you retired from. Make sure that you enter that, because if you enter it otherwise, then again that will set another issue that could delay your claim.
Okay.
And now going into the you have two options in receiving your benefits. You can receive it by direct deposit or by debit card. If you choose direct deposit, you need to go in and complete the information with your financial institute, your routing number, and your account number. And also the type of account, if you have a savings and a checking, which one you want in there. For those of you who may not know, the first set of numbers on the bottom of your check is your routing number. And be careful on your account number, because a lot of banks will give you a shortened account number that you deal with them. But the account number is that whole long number, the second set of numbers at the bottom of your check. And if you put in the wrong account number in there, it could, number one, go to someone else's account, or number two, not go as direct deposit. It may go to a debit card. So be very careful about when you're entering those numbers. And if you have any questions, check with your financial institution before you fill this part of the claim out.
Great. And then I think the last questions were around work search. And I was wondering if you wanted to make any comments on this, because you mentioned the weekly certification if you are approved to receive unemployment payments.
When you're talking about your work search, and keep in mind what we're talking about today is directly due to the coronavirus, not normal work searches. For those who are affected, sorry about that. For those who are affected by the coronavirus, the governor has put out an executive order that has done many things, but two things it has done is it has waived the waiting week, so you don't have to serve that 1 week without pay. It also has waived work search for those who have been laid off or lost their job or a reduction of hours due to the coronavirus, which is why it's really important that you put that in as your reason for losing work. Because if for those who may have lost their job through other reasons, they're still under the same requirements for work search. And so when you do that weekly certification each week, it's going to ask you, were you able, available, and looking for work as directed? Say yes, because you have been directed that you are not required to look for work. When it asks, were you available for work? If you're available for work, if your employer called you back in, make sure you say yes. It will ask you, are you able to work? And if you are able to go back in and do that job that you were there for your employer, then you're going to say yes. So keep in mind that you're going to answer the way you have to listen to what the entire question says, not what it may normally mean. Because again, with that work search, you're looking as directed because you were directed that your work search was made. Okay.
Let me unmute and I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much the sort of the application process. Anita, can you talk a little bit about what the time frame might be, and then the other resources that you had mentioned that folks might need to know about?
Okay. Time frame. I'm going to be very honest with you. They have done almost 4 times the claims now since mid-March than they did all of 2019. So right now in North Carolina, the last update we had was last week, and it was over 500,000 claims. So the more you can do electronically, the better you're off. If you can file your claim online, do all of that online, you're going to have a much quicker and a much smoother process. There may be issues if you set those issues with you trying to get in. If you have questions, I'm going to be very honest with you. It is extremely difficult. It is the luck of the draw whether you can get in on the toll-free number. Because there are so many people who are trying to get through to that number. So I'm going to give you 2 websites in case, depending on problems that you may have, that will help you if you have issues or if something has happened with your claim where you can get questions answered. The first one is if you have issues with your PIN number, your password, anything like that. You are going to send that to NCDES password help at nccommerce.com. And that is as in North Carolina Division of Employment Security, okay, the NCDES, the words password help at NC as in North Carolina Commerce, COMERCE.com. They have people who all they're doing is assist people with resetting those PIN numbers, getting your username. If for some you did not get an email to allow you to go in, make sure you're shooting an email to them. In that email, make sure you put your name, the last 4 of your social, a contact number that they can reach you at, and make sure contact number is a number that should be close to majority of the time, because they won't call you back if they can't reach you. The other number, if you just have general questions about your claim, you think you may have entered something wrong, or whatever the case may be, that website is des.ui.customerservice@ncommerce.com. Again, that is DES for Division of Employment Security, .UI, employment insurance, .customer service at NC North Carolina Commerce, COMMERCE.com. Those are the best ways that you can get a response back a reasonable amount of time. Again, I would still keep trying the number. The telephone number is 888-737-0259. But it is frustrating because, again, it's the luck of the draw. And before we went to teleworking, somebody called me and said that the phone line when you got in was not working. I called and got straight through with no issues whatsoever. I tried back for another customer not even 15 minutes later, and I was on that hold as well. So it is just luck of the draw. So I apologize for that.
I just wanted to, I think I actually got the first one. The first one is just password help@ncommerce.com, or is it NCDES?
No, the first one with password help is NCDES password help.
Okay.
All together.
Okay. I did do it right.
At ncommerce.com.
Okay. And the phone number 888.
And then the other one again, 737-0259.
Okay, great.
And the other one is des.ui or .customer service at ncommerce.com.
Great.
Okay, now I'll show you one more screen. You can figure out what browser I have it up under. Let's see. Well, that did not work. So let's see if we can get back to the other. Let me go. And I have no share screen up there. So let's see if we can.
Oh, it should be down at the bottom now.
Okay. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing now?
Not yet.
No? All right, hold on just a moment. All right, where is it? Is it nice? That one. Here we go. Share. Okay, are we good now?
It's coming. Now it's back on the Department of Commerce one, the login one.
Okay, that's where we want to be.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go back over to the home screen.
Okay.
And you will see if you scroll down just a little, it says the Division of Employment Security COVID information. If you click on that COVID-19 information, it is going to give you information on the different programs under the CARE Act. It will give you, and you can find out information on who that covers. They've also got an online account help for employers under there. They've got some information on how much they've paid. They've got some information down here as far as just general unemployment. So that is exceptional information, especially for those of you who are not sure whether you qualify with regular unemployment, but you wonder if you may be if you may be covered on one of the CARE Acts, make sure you go in and visit that information. And they will keep that updated. They will update that before they allow any of us or allow information out to anyone else.
So the question I had for you the other day was if someone was not eligible, had gotten, had worked part-time, was a student, had received information that they did not qualify, would they go here to see if they may qualify under the CARES program? And then do they need to do anything different, or is their application kind of held, and if it ends up that they're eligible for something, that it triggers their approval? Or
that is
not know yet?
Our understanding at this point. Yeah, that is our understanding. They may have gotten more information on that, but our understanding is that a claim must be filed, and any of those other programs will go through the Division of Employment Security in North Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, Susan, I'll tell you another thing that I'm getting a lot of calls on. If someone has just moved into the area, it may be a student that just, and when I say into the area, I mean into North Carolina, maybe a student that has just transferred over spring semester from out of state. If all of their wages have been in another state through the end of the year, then they need to file through their home state.
Okay.
Because they probably are not going to qualify through North Carolina because they don't have any North Carolina wages within that base period. And to file in that previous state, just go online and Google the state and unemployment insurance, and it should give you the information on where you need to go in order to file that claim.
Okay, great. Well, this is an ever-evolving situation. I'm hopeful that in the next couple of weeks, sooner than later, some of the claims will perhaps level off. And I hope that this all these efforts that we're doing in North Carolina right now will help us so that we can get our economy jump-started sooner than later. So Anita, thank you for your time today. We've done several of these. I think this last resource website around the resources that are available for the CARES Act, we're starting to now get information, start to really wrestle with that on campus to see what those funds look like for us and what they look like for students, because there are resources there for direct support for students. So I know we had one person join us, and I don't see any other questions. So we've recorded this. We'll put it on our website, and hopefully people will reference that. And Anita, thanks for being with us. Good luck with getting your computer set up and continuing to navigate all these many questions that people are asking you. I have given your name to several people to contact you.
Well, they're more than welcome to. Now, if people have questions that we may be able to answer, and again, those are few and far between, I'll just be very honest, because the rest of my staff have not had to deal with claims before. So what they know is things that they've learned in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But call our office. The number is 828-265-5385. It does give you numbers to be able to reach our staff because we are teleworking from home, but we're still available virtually through email, through telephone calls, that type of thing, to be able to assist individuals and employers.
Great, great. Well, we are looking forward to being with employers and students again in the near future, I hope. So thanks so much. I hope you have an awesome afternoon. I'm going to make sure that we have this website with the resources identified specifically on our website at Appalachian, and we will see you again in the near future.
Okay, everyone be safe out there.
Great. Thank you, Anita.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Susan.
Okay, bye-bye.